Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 1st of July, the first important news, that is norms against the dark pattern in online advertisement. Government has come up with some strict guideline. Second, India backs 2016 Arbitral Award on South China Sea. Third, that is India to import tuar dal to check the prices. Tuar is also known as pigeon pea. So the price and even the decline in the production has led to the surge in the price. Now, the second last, that is IMD forecast for El Nino formation in July. And the last is an editorial, a new chapter in India-Africa ties. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. And if you're looking forward for mains test series, we at Apti Plus are providing you a comprehensive coverage of mastering each subject of the general studies. The program name is Ab Uday, right? So with this program, you will be offering the part of the test series. Along with that, 4 general studies full length tests will be provided, 2 essay paper and ethics will be there, right? So this is both online and offline. For more details, you can reach out to this in the contact number. The website are also mentioned to find the brochures where you can read the complete details. So Abhi Uday is the program that will help you in excelling the part of the mains examination. Now, the first news of the day, that is the norms against the dark pattern in online advertisement. Something important for Gender Studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So Ministry of Consumer Affairs, which is a concerned ministry for this activities like dark webs. So Consumer Affairs Ministry ने recently urged किया है online platform से कि वो refrain करे from incorporating any design or pattern in the online interface on their platform that may devise or manipulate the customer choice fall in the category of dark pattern. This is mostly evident in the e-commerce side, just to give you an example, like Flipkart, Amazon, or any part of the online shopping ad that you are. The ministry has urged the consumer to flag such manipulative or online practices of the National Consumer Helpline. जो भी अगर ऐसी कोई mal practices report होती हैं, तो टोल फ्री नंबर है नेशनल कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन की. The customer can reach out to them. There's a WhatsApp number also, which you can find in Google. You can just ping them the message. The grievance people will reach out to you and address the problem that is there. Now, what is dark pattern? By the name, it is evident that it refers to a deceptive design technique that is used in the interface to manipulate or the part of device users into actions they may not want to take the obscure decision informations. Now, these patterns are exploit cognitive bias and behavioral psychology and nudge the user's specific actions often benefit for the part of the businesses and the interfaces. Now, the law to curb the dark web patterns, if you see specifically in India and the global practices, India की अगर बात करें, मिनिस्ट्री ने प्रोविजंस जो बेसिकली इंडिया में जो रेगुलेटरी एक्ट है दैट इज अंडर द कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, दिस इज आल्सो नोन एज CPA, and they are enough to curb the part of this, but center is saying that they are willing on the part of coming with a specific guideline to overcome this menace of dark web. And there are several governments across the globe who have defined with a dark pattern that has brought to the strict rules and regulation, right? And the Ministry of Consumer Affairs has also written a letter on a major online platform advertisement to engage the unfair trade practices, incorporating the dark pattern and their online interface to manipulate the choices and even violate consumer right, which is protected under the Section 2, subsection 9 of the Consumer Protection Act. Now, example of dark pattern practices की अगर बात करें, how does it actually work? To give you just an example, dark pattern is an online interface unfairly exploit the consumer interest and constitute unfair trade practices. किस तरह की tactics या techniques use की जाती है? It's a false urgency to create a sense of scarcity, like there's only last mile discount, this is the last time you'll be getting discount. So इस तरह के कुछ जो promotional ads होते हैं that pressurize customer and even call for an earliest decision making to confuse them. These are some of the things that is categorized under the dark pattern or the practices, right? Subscription straps is again another example, technique or tactics that is used for the consumer to sign up for the services and hiding additional cost. So जो extra cost है, जो hidden cost है, वो नहीं बताई जाती. Once you are subscribed, that will be auto renewed, some taxes will be charged, some convenience charges will be there. So that is a trap that is there, right? Mostly particularly by the tourism websites that has come under the radar. So this is all the point of caution ministry is taking to ensure that the customer are not being cheated. Now, moving to the other news, India backs 2016 Arbitral Award on the South China Sea. We'll call it as SCS, right? Important for General Studies paper 2. That is the effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. So 7 years after, in order to have where the tribunal order was there, this is like almost completion of 7 years, India has upgraded its positions for the first time, and it has explicitly called that abiding for 2016 arbitration which was there should be respected and equally abided by the China's territory. This is what India has been vocal on this part, and with the firm affirmation India has made a statement. Now, changes in India's posture was mentioned at the time of the statement which was there between India and Philippines in the 5th Joint Commission's meeting on the bilateral cooperations. 2016 में जो tribunal है उन्होंने award दिया था, and this is under the UN Convention, that the UN Convention on Laws and Sea have favored the Philippines government that it has actually petitions against the aggressions and the part of the dispute that is going in the South China Sea dispute over the oil-rich waters which the Chinese have claimed. Now, disagreement की अगर बात करें, चाइना ने इससे disagree किया है, इस award से disagree किया है. The Philippines have constituted the arbitration proceeding against China in the Permanent Court of Arbitration, better known as PCA, right, under the UNICLAUSE 2013, and the court has ruled in favor of Philippines government in 2016, but this has rejected by the Chinese, and they said that Chinese basically call it null and void. They have not abided with the arbitration rules and award that was there. And even the China claimed that the part of the South China Sea where 9 dash lines are there has become more assertive in leading to the flare of the region. Now, 9 dash line की अगर बात करें, ये अपने आप में काफ़ी ज़्यादा relevant है आपके examination of map work के लिए. I'll show you in the map where exactly is the 9 dash line. So this is here, you can look upon the part of the 9 dash line. These are the 9 dash line. You can count the number. These are the 9 dash line. This is Vietnam over here. This is Philippines. This is South China Sea, right? For more details, you can magnify this image over here. And the name of the island is again important, like Senkaku, Spartil Island, Partial Island, and Patas Island. These all are very important for your examination. Make sure you're thorough with the map, where you will get an added advantage either in prelims and even for the mains examination. Now, what is India's stand in this regard? So, India supported for the part of UN clause, which the arbitral tribunal has instituted, and they have said that univocal on this part. And India for the first time has ambiguously called upon the Chinas to adhere on the part of the ruling that continues to call for null and void on the partition. Now, it has come with the part of the downward spiral on the bilateral ties with China. We have seen that the situation which continued in the eastern Ladakh region, LAC की बात करें, line of actual control, this has continued, and even no substantial progress has been made after 3 years of the negotiation. Now, moving to the other news, India to import tour guide to check the prices, better known as, basically this is relevant for General Studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. So tuer is also known as pigeon pea, and again something the productions part की अगर बात करें, this is lacking in India. Now, amid the sharp rise in the prices, the part of the pigeon pea or tuer dal is due to the low productions that India is witnessing, and India definitely has said that the government has said that it will import 12 lakh ton of pulses in this fiscal year. So you can see the demand is on the high, and India will be importing close to 12 lakh of the pulses. Now, by 35% from last year, it will boost the ability to contain the prices. Now, India की अगर बात करें productions की, that has lowered at 30 lakh ton, और जो demand है India में, that is for the previous year it was 39 lakh ton, and for this year it is only 30 lakh ton. Now, consumption कितनी है इंडिया में? अगर इस बार 30 लाख टन हुई है और जो past year that was 39, this is for 2022, right? So now what is the exact demand? The demand is for 44 to 45 lakh ton in India. So far the country has imported 6 lakh ton of the tuer, and these are basically from the country like Myanmar and East African countries, right? The crop in the East African countries will start arriving in August as domestic prices will cool down. The country will import 8.9 lakh ton during 2022 and 23 fiscal. Now, other measures की अगर बात करें, कौन-कौन से और measures government ने adopt करने की बात की है to check the prices of the tuer, the government said that it has taken several measures. The stock limited impose a part of the trade. Millers and importers on June 2 has helped to bring down the part of the prices. And from the day the stock was limited, there was downward trend in the prices. The government has said it has decided to offload 50,000 ton of the buffer stock that was there in the market. Now, moving to the other news, that is IMD forecast El Nino formation in July. Something important for general studies paper 2, that is the important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcano, cyclone, and El Nino and other climatic activities. So with this image, you can make the part of the basically the assumptions that was made by the IMD. You can see the maximum deficit that was there for the states. And even during El Nino, there's mostly drought in India, but still this point of time in the month of July, it is expected there will be normal rain. So according to the Indian Meteorological Department, better known as Met Department or IMD, it has said that India will get the normal rainfall in the month of July. This is only specifically for July and not for the entire monsoon, despite the development of El Nino in the equatorial Pacific Ocean. Now, the IMD has forecasted that for the July, the El Nino phenomenon in the equatorial Pacific is there in July, and El Nino generally decreases the monsoon over India. बहुत सारे ऐसे रीजन है जहाँ पे काफ़ी हेवी रेन होती है, ड्राउट्स देखे जाते हैं, and even to some region there is a complete chilling weathers. Now, about El Nino is a warm phase of El Nino in the southern oscillations phenomenon, which is caused by the major disruptions in the weather conditions worldwide. I think most of you must be aware of the basic facts of the El Nino if you have read it from NCERT, especially the high in temperature and also the decrease and excess of rainfall can be evident. El Nino has a large number of warming surface temperature, and it is central and even eastern equatorial Pacific oceans. The weather phenomena normally occur every 2 to 7 years. Now, Ocean Nino Index की अगर बात करें, the Indian Meteorological Department has said that the index, the rating that is there for the measurement of anomalies, which is there for the part of the basically El Nino, तो उसकी rating या फिर numbers की बात करें, it has been reported 4.7%, right? And this can go up to threshold of 0.50, which the value can reach up to maximum of 0.81. Now, effect on agriculture, definitely there will be effect on agriculture. अगर बात करें IMD की, कुछ जो agriculture region है उनको crucial उन पे impact होगी, negative impact. That will be the part of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, southern interior Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, and Meghalaya. So these states will witness the drawbacks, and even it is evident that the growing paddy majority which is there will be impacted. Now, the paddy sowing already 26% down the year will be impacted, and in August and July, there are two most crucial months and the month of the southwest monsoons, and even to get 60% of the seasonal rainfall. Any drop in the rainfall output could be compensated by the adequate stocks in the central pools. Now, moving ahead with the editorial of the day, a new chapter in India-Africa ties, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So what I'll be discussing under this editorial, first is the theme and the focus, that is the India-Africa ties. We'll see the part of the report that was there by the Vivekanand Foundation, the International Foundation. उस फाउंडेशंस की क्या रिकमेंडेशन है उससे समझेंगे, उनके क्या क्या रिकमेंडेशन है, पॉइंट वाज लाइक पॉलिटिकल और डिप्लोमेटिक कॉपरेशंस पे, डिफेंस पे, इकोनॉमिक कॉपरेशंस पे और सोशियो कल्चर कॉपरेशंस पे. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट वी कंक्लूड विद द वे फॉरवर्ड. So just to give you the background and the premise that India and Africa share a long-standing and multifaceted relationship. दोनों countries ने चाहे वो political हो, economical हो, cultural हो, or even for the developmental part, these countries have worked well. And there's a slow realization that Africa is a continent accounting for 17% of the total world populations, reaching 25% by 2050, and this need to be studied closely, and a bilateral relationship with country like Africa is inevitable in linking the India and Africa partnership and even increasing the trade value. तो विवेकानंद फाउंडेशंस ने कुछ स्टडी की है इसके ऊपर, एंड दे हैव like for the past 15 years they found some astonishing fact and how that can help both the country. In that context, 20 members Africa expert group was established by the Vivekanand International Foundations. They have recently presented their report. About the title of the report was India-Africa Partnership Achievement Challenges Roadmap for 2023. Now, इस report में कुछ important findings बताई गई हैं regarding the demography, economic, political and socio aspect of the India and Africa bilateral relationship. तो क्या gist है उस recommendations की, we'll see one by one, but the central theme is the roadmap 2030, that is nearly the 60 policy recommendations that were there for the part of the partnership between India and Africa. तो वो कौन कौन से 4 focus area हैं, we'll see one by one. The first is the political and diplomatic cooperations. Political और diplomatic cooperations की बात करें, ये restore करेगी political leadership summit in the medium of India-Africa Forum Summit. This will last in 2050. Besides this, new annual strategic dialogue between the part of the chairperson and even the African Union and India's external affairs were there. That was launched in 2023. Another recommendations were there for forging the consensus among G20 members on AU entry to G20 as a full member. Now, defense and security cooperations mein, on defense and security cooperations, the government needs to increase the number of defense attacks deployed in Africa, expand dialogue on differences, widen the part of footprint on maritime cooperation, and expand this on credit to facilitate the defense export. Now, more than the part of the thing that was done, the number of defense training slot and to enhance the cooperations in counterterrorism and even the cyber security were emerging as a part of the technologies. Third and important aspect is economic and the part of the developmental cooperations. So the large number of recommendations were there. It says that India and Africa ki jo trade value hai, that is touching to $98 billion for 2022 and 23. That is an encouraging development. Now, it can access to finance with the creation of Africa Growth Fund, that is interesting. A special package for measurement to improve the project will be there in the corporations, and the special focus on promoting bilateral cooperations and deepening the science technology that focus on rich part of the dividends will also be there. Socio-culture cooperations की अगर बात करें, the socio-culture cooperation should be increased through a greater interactions between the universities, the think tank, the civil universities, the civil society, the media organization, and select Indian African countries. Now, there's also calling for the establishment of National Center for African Studies, जो कि एक right direction होगी दोनों countries के bilateral relationship को strengthen करने के लिए. Even there's a part of India's cultural and technical cooperations that will be there between this country. Now, visa measures and African student who come to India will also be liberalized, and even उन students को visa में भी relaxations दी जाएंगी. They should be given for the work visa so that they can help for both countries, either from India or from the African countries. Now, the way forward, the report suggests that the special mechanism for implementing the part of roadmap should be there. India's engagement with Africa is based on the principle of mutual respect, partnership, and shared development. The country has evolved over the strategic partnership aimed at enhancing the cooperations for the benefit of both regions, and there's a need for close cooperations between the Ministry of External Affairs and National Security Council Secretariat so that both countries could strengthen their bilateralship, build or deepen the part of their relations, and even call for more robust development between two countries. Now, moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day, before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option was C. For second question, the correct option was A. Today's MCQ for practice, that is B21 read here. Consider the following statement. The first new American bombardier aircraft for the 30 years. It takes name from 1942 Daylight Read. So do check out for the correct option. Second question is about the Akash missile. It has 25 kilometer in the part, simultaneously can engage multiple targets in all weather conditions. It was inducted in 2014 as an Air Force and 2015 in the Army. So do check out for the correct options. Practicing a lot more current affair question will give you an added advantages in the part of the real examination. And this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.